If you had the wealth to do whatever you wanted, and the power to make your own world, and the will to see it through, would you do it? Would you carve a city from the bottom of the sea, a glittering utopia hewn from those very stones, and far away from the prying eyes of more restrictive societies? But no one rules alone, and in this new world, who is to decide what is right and wrong? Where's the line between man and servant, between guard and prisoner, between master and slave? As a stranger in these strange lands, will you obey the rules of this new society, or will you choose a different path? Bioshock is a first-person shooter where you take on the role of an interloper who, after surviving a plane crash, finds themselves in the ruins of the underwater city of Rapture. As we, the audience, are to understand, Rapture was built at the bottom of the sea as a kind of objectivist utopia, where the laws of government and culture would no longer apply. By the time you arrive, however, things have gone horribly wrong. Rapture is embroiled in a civil war, and looters and idealists alike are fighting over what resources remain. Now, the mechanics of Bioshock are similar to other contemporary shooters. At the beginning, you'll only have some basic weapons such as a pistol or wrench, which you'll use to defeat the hostile inhabitants of the city. As you progress, you'll unlock better weapons, such as shotguns, machine guns, or grenade launchers, which will allow you to defeat stronger enemies. In between firefights, you'll be free to explore the city and the various environments, where you can loot containers and try and find ammo and health pickups. Now, where things get interesting is that early on, you'll start unlocking special powers. Now, in the context of the game, you learn that the scientists of Rapture figured out a way to alter a human's genetic structure. This allowed them to give the people that could afford it all kinds of spectacular special abilities. Unfortunately, it's also the thing that drove most of the population of Rapture insane. What this means for you in terms of gameplay is that you'll be able to purchase and unlock all sorts of special powers as you progress. Most of them will be passive, such as giving you small boosts to health or damage, but others will be active, such as allowing you to shoot lightning or fire from your fingertips, or even summon swarms of bees to attack your opponents. Yes, get them. I fear bees, but now it's time for my enemies to share my fear. Now, one of the great things about Bioshock is its variety. The game is filled with large levels that have alternate paths and different objectives and secrets to uncover. On top of that, there are plenty of different enemy types, each of them with special abilities and behaviors, and fighting groups of them can be a real challenge. Thankfully, you, the player, are not without options. In addition to your special powers, your weapons also have variable ammo types, which can change their utility and effectiveness. Outside of combat, you'll be able to craft special ammo types, or customize your selection of powers, or even perform research to give yourself a boost during battle. And it's not just your own abilities. You can even turn the environment to your advantage as well. For instance, if a group of enemies is standing in a pool of water, you can use lightning to electrocute them. Some of your weapons will allow you to set traps or explosive mines. There are even security systems that are scattered throughout the level that can be hacked so that they target your opponents instead of you. And all of these tips and tactics will come to bear when you start fighting the game's signature mini-bosses, the Big Daddies. In the context of the game, the Big Daddies are the ambivalent guardians of Rapture. They roam the halls, single-mindedly focused on their own mysterious objectives, and will typically not attack you unless first provoked. Powerful and dangerous, defeating a Big Daddy will take all of your assembled skill, but the rewards for doing so can be great. Thankfully, when and how you engage these monstrosities is left up to you, the player. Now, the other thing that stands out about Bioshock and defines it almost as much as its combat is its setting. The city of Rapture looks and sounds amazing. A beautiful mixture of Art Deco and underwater desolation. It really does feel like a self-contained world, like a place with its own rules and its own internal logic, not just window dressing for corridors filled with enemies. Rapture is a place with a history and a weight to it, and the simple act of exploring it tells a story. Even you, the player, are a part of that narrative. You're not just some random person that happens to be there. You're a puzzle piece that fits inexorably into the larger picture. It's actually quite impressive that playing Bioshock, the narrative of the game has as much to do with you, the player, as it does the story of Rapture.
Time to destroy! Come now, my child. There is one final thing to discuss.
Unfortunately, to fly so high is to bring yourself close to the sun. And my single biggest complaint about Bioshock would be that its ending is very underwhelming. Over the course of the game, you'll go on this incredible adventure, meet all these different characters, uncover this story, make choices about how to interact with the world. But yet, when you get to the end, you will be faced with the reality that the developers had no answer for the question of how to conclude such a unique experience. And the game ends with the traditional fighting of a bad guy in a large arena. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a good fight, and you'll have access to all of the powers and weapons that you'll have unlocked up until that point. But still, it's a little thematically hollow for a game that had such a strong emphasis on choice and consequence. Still, Bioshock is a distinctive experience. An excellent blend of visceral action shooting and imaginative world building. I would give it 4 out of 4 stars and call it one of the best shooters of its generation. It takes a huge variety of gameplay elements and almost manages to mix them together in the perfect package. I definitely recommend it though. Alright, thanks for listening. I'll see you next time, my little lambs. Till then.